El Jumbo. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Kilimanjaro Safaris. My name is Billy. I'll be taking you around Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Now, before we head on out, there are a couple of rules and reminders I want to go over with you. Now, number one is to remain fully and completely seated at all times, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck. Do make sure that you supervise your little ones. Little ones are more than welcome to sit on laps. My friends, I said on the laps that they please remain. So please don't have them stand up on laps, stand up on rows, or hold them up in the air to see the animals like you're trying to make them a sacrifice, because that's not safe. We gotta be safe while we're out here having fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. There's the opportunity to see about 34 different species of animals out here today. Now, due to migration patterns and sleeping patterns, there's a good chance some of them may not be awake or could be hiding. But we usually get lots of really good luck. It's a beautiful morning right now. So if you're taking pictures and videos, make sure you get your phones and your cameras ready to go. I'll only be able to stop a couple of times out there today. There's a couple of spots that we're allowed to. So I'll take our stops there whenever we can. But a lot of times we're just going to be driving by, and most times slow. So make sure you have those phones and cameras ready to go so you can get some great pictures out there today. Now, this first area that we're entering, this is called Little Ituri Forest. And some animals that live out here, they like to hide within the surroundings of their forest home using natural camouflage, but not a lot hiding out here today. They are all out and about. Now, to the left-hand side, I'll pick this out first. The light brown antelope, those are called greater kudu. They're the second largest species of antelope in Africa. They stand 4 feet tall, weigh 750 pounds. The animal to the right in that yard, that's an okapi. And the okapi is the only known relative, a cousin of the giraffe, with its long purple prehensile tongue and a very similar skull structure. It's actually just a bit smaller in size, though. To the left-hand side, these orange copper-colored animals are called bongos. They're nicknamed ghosts of the forest because out in the wild, they're usually very rarely seen. One of Africa's best hiders and camouflagers, and they can weigh around 500 pounds. Now, up towards the second yard, I see a black rhino, but I'm also going to keep our eyes peeled in the first yard. Oh, yeah, look at that. Right in the middle of the yard, there's a black rhino. So we're going to get a lot of luck here with these rhinos. And these animals grow about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. And they're quite agile for their massive size. They can run up to 35 miles per hour. But they're very solitary, they're very territorial species of animal, which is why you see them in their own separate yards. They like to spend a lot of their day all by themselves. Now let's see if we can find one last animal out here today before we make our way here out of the Ituri Forest. Yeah, it looks like over on our left-hand side, there's a couple of big black and white birds there. Those are called the saddle-billed storks. Now, those birds can grow up to 5 feet tall at their largest and have a wingspan that can stretch up to 9 feet wide. Pretty amazing. But my friends, we are now leaving the Ituri Forest and heading on over into the next area, which is known as the Safi River. So let's pull on up here. I'll go just around the river bend. We'll keep our eyes peeled to the right-hand side of it. Look just before the alleyway there. There's some Nile hippopotamus. Now, hopefully they're not the only ones we're going to see. We're going to try and find some more in the second river over. That'll be to the left. But hippos are one of the largest and most dangerous animals in all of Africa. Eat around 100 pounds of vegetation a day. Females weigh 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. Males around 5,500 pounds. And to the left, I don't know if any of you can see, there's a little baby hippo next to mama there. Baby's about 2 months old now. But though hippos live in and around these aquatic type areas, it's a common misconception that they can swim. In all reality, a hippo cannot swim at all. They just walk along the bottom of the water. That's how I feel when I see a baby hippo too. I know, it's so cool. I know. Now also here on our left-hand side, on the island are pink-backed pelicans, but you may not have noticed at first glance, they have built a nest. That's because it's the beginning of their new mating season. And during this time, the skin on their backs, under their feathers, are going to get a very light shade of pink. That's where they get that name from. Both female and males tend to their eggs. They take about 30 days to hatch, and they've got a wingspan that stretches up to 6 feet wide. Now also here on our left-hand side, these are the Nile crocodile. And they grow 16 feet in length and weigh up to and over 1,000 pounds. Largest species of crocodilian within all of Africa, and in one single feeding, they're going to be able to eat up to half of their own body weight. That is pretty impressive. But my friends, we have got a lot of reserve left to see today. So what we're going to do, we're going to head on out of Sapi River and make our way over to the next area, which is known as the Savannah. Now the Savannah is going to be a great spot to find lots of different animals. Now, I know we've been getting a lot of good luck, and I don't know exactly what we're going to see out over here today, but a couple that we might be able to find today: giraffes, elephants, cheetahs, and quite possibly some lions as well. So let's head on down into the savannah and see what we can find out here today. Well, lions, tigers are over in Asia, and then the bears are in Chicago, not here. I wouldn't visit those bears though, they're not very good. Now as we pull on down to the bottom of the hill on the right hand side, I've got some Maasai giraffes. Tallest land animal in the entire world. They can stand 18 to nearly 20 feet tall. And not only do they have their very long necks, they've got really long tongues as well. Helps them to reach up to the tops of the trees. Their tongues can grow about 16 inches long. Now we're going to be talking all about giraffes here as we make our way around, but we're going to pull up to these short bushes coming up on our left. We're going to try and peek over. We're going to see if there's anything living over here right now. Let's see. There's a couple very close to on the other side of the bushes here. I'm trying to see. I'll go slowly. Oh, there's some a little bit further back to the left. These are African wild dogs. They're better known as the painted dogs. They're the most successful hunter. Oh, there you go, within all of Africa. 90% success rate. Now when they go hunting, they hunt packs of up to 8 to 12 dogs. And what they'll do is they'll run down their prey to the point where their prey will have no choice but to drop with complete exhaustion. Incredible endurance on the wild dogs. But though they're within the canine family, and like I said, they have the name dog in them, they're not directly related to any domestic dog we may have at home. The closest relative is actually the wolf. But what we're going to try and do, we're going to try and pull up a little bit closer to those giraffes. They're walking around, they're pretty active. Let's see if we can get a good look. All right, we're getting closer. And you know what? As we pull on up, not only are we going to see giraffes, but in the distance, you might get a glimpse of them. If you look all the way in the back on the right, you see those wildebeest walking along back there? And you know what? There's a couple of more that'll be coming up. They're walking out of the bushes, so we'll talk about them when we get there. But a whole group of giraffes. Everybody, this is called a tower. Kind of ironic because of their massive size. And throughout their day, they're going to eat, and they're going to eat a lot. 20 hours of the giraffe's day is spent eating. When it comes to sleeping, not much of that takes place. Giraffes only sleep about 30 minutes of the day, and they'll break those up into naps that last 30 seconds to just 2 minutes at a time. Now to the left, I know she's very hard to see, but that's an eland, largest species of antelope in Africa. Now that's the female. Females weigh about 1,000 pounds. I was hoping we'd see the male with her, because he's a lot larger. He stands about 5 feet tall at his shoulders alone, weighs 2,000 pounds. Maybe we'll find him on the other side, but just the female there. But to the right as well, you can get another look at some wildebeest. They're named in the Afrikaans language. That means wild beast. And every year through Africa, they're going to migrate 500 to 1,000 miles along the Serengeti grasslands. And as they migrate, all herds of wildebeest that range 100 to 1,000 come together. They form into a gigantic herd that reaches up to 1.5 million. So if anybody remembers the lion, oh gosh.
Lion King.
Sorry, I get emotional. The Lion King. With the wildebeest. And Mufasa. Sorry. It's too soon. Sorry. I get emotional, but if anybody remembers that stampede scene from The Lion King, the number of wildebeest that the animators put in there is a pretty accurate representation of how many they can go out and migrate in. Pretty awesome. But we're going to pull on up here. We're going to head to this next section of the savannah. And this is going to be called Monkey Point and Elephant Country. So over here, we're going to try and see. There's some mandrills that were over to the left. And before we even talk about the mandrills, look over to the right. There's some elephants. These are two females, mother